The equator is the cradle of life. All creatures originally evolved in its warm, wet climate before they fanned out across the earth. Today, the most powerful evolutionary force is humanity. Scientists on the equator are discovering amazing examples of what that means. On the Atlantic coast of Africa, the dense jungle of Gabon hides one of our closest cousins, lowland gorillas, the most elusive apes. Endangered by hunting, the gorillas hide from people. But a team of scouts led by American zoologist Martha Robbins is slowly getting to know the gorillas' habits.
I love that I have a job where I learn things and that I can discover things. I never know what I'm going to see on any day that I go out in the forest. The main focus of the project is to follow this one group of gorillas. To relocate the gorillas in the morning, it can take anywhere from 15 minutes to a few days. So there are a lot of challenges with this, and literally every day that we go out there, unless we find them within 20 minutes or 30 minutes, there's always a point in the morning where I think, are we really going to find them? But we do.
Martha has been working since 2005 to get close to these gorillas.
Wild gorillas are naturally afraid of people. So if they're not habituated, you will almost never ever see them because the minute they see humans, they run away. So habituation is a process where gradually over time, they learn to not fear us and to more or less accept us into their environment, into their group, so to speak. And this takes several years. In the beginning, literally every day we go out, we find them, and they run away because they're afraid of us. And then slowly over time, we can get a little bit closer, they become more accepting, until finally we can get within 10 or 20 meters of them, and they act normally. And we can see the inner workings of gorilla lives.
The study has given local people a new appreciation of gorillas.
Some friends have asked me once, all gorillas look the same. How can you tell that it's this one or that one? You could also say that all humans look the same. They all have two arms, they have a head, they have eyes. But there are always some characteristics that make up each person's individual physiognomy.
The presence of researchers helps protect the gorillas and the unique rainforest where they live. If species are forced to move, they must evolve or perish. We know that because Charles Darwin discovered it almost 200 years ago on isolated islands in the Pacific Ocean. Darwin saw that similar creatures evolved different bodies to survive the unique landscapes of 20 Galapagos islands. The many kinds of Darwin's finches were the best example. Today, biologist Jaime Chavez sees the finches evolving in unexpected ways.
I'm an Ecuadorian native, and I've been working on Darwin finches and studying the evolution of species in the Galapagos for the last 7 to 8 years.
Jaime uses mist nets, invisible and harmless to finches, to catch them for study.
The origin Darwin finches is from one common ancestor that gave rise to this variety. They differ primarily on their sizes and primarily on their beaks. We were talking about maybe 18 finches that live on the Galapagos Islands. And it was in isolation where these populations encountered different seed types, different temperature regimes, many different selection pressures on different islands. And they had to adapt to that particular environment. The idea of having different beaks is that you are getting specialized on one type of seed, and that will avoid competition to other species. So in 2 generations, you can see a shift in beak size. So that means in the next generation, you have a complete different set of individuals that now might leave offspring. Evolution happens in very rapid timescales.
Jaime's research also shows that evolution never stops and that finches continue to change shape as they encounter new foods.
One of the major factors that we're looking into is the impact of humans and how humans are altering the trajectory of evolution.
Galapagos has an image of being prehistoric and untouched. In reality, it has a long history of pioneering farmers carving up its jungles to introduce new plants. Daniel Bermeo and his wife Miriam moved to Galapagos from the city of Quito a year ago.
We live as millionaires with no money. That's my definition for this. You can grow anything here. It's incredible that you can see papayas and potatoes in the same field.
Arugula, basil, lime basil, purple basil, beans, string beans, tomatoes, papaya. What else?
Papaya. ¿Qué más hay?
Café.
Coffee,
Y muchas frutas.
and so much tropical fruit.
Nos gusta mucho la naturaleza.
We like nature a lot.
Intentamos como hacer el
We always try to make the
impacto,
least
pero
impact.
solo el hecho de que estemos
But the
acá
fact
ya
that we are
es
here
impacto.
is an impact.
Entonces eso no sé si lo
I don't know if we can avoid that.
evitar, ¿no?
The centrifugal force exerted by the spinning Earth makes the planet bulge out a little at the equator. Our mostly round planet is 42 kilometers wider in the middle. Mountaintops are a little closer to the sun, though still high enough to have glaciers. But as our atmosphere changes, those mountains are evolving.
I always greet the glacier when we are starting.
Hola,
Hi, Santa Isabel. Are you good today?
hoy estás bien. Déjanos subir.
Please let us go up. Let us collect some data.
Datos. Déjanos subir bien.
Let us go up safe and come down safe.
Calma,
Calm.
cálmate, por favor.
Calm down, please. No more wind, please.
Sube la temperatura.
Or bring the temperature up. We are cold. And
Bueno, a
well,
veces responde.
sometimes it responds.
Jorge Ceballos is Colombia's first trained glaciologist, and he's also destined to be its last. Global warming is melting Colombia's glaciers. Its rocky Sierra is evolving into green hills.
El siglo.
In the 19th century, we had 19 glaciers.
Hoy actualmente.
Nowadays, we have 6 small glaciers.
Every month, Jorge and his assistants trek up the glaciers to document the thaw.
Y acá es un punto muy especial.
At this
para
point, we are
nosotros.
taking samples of water to know its history.
Desde hace un tiempo muestras de agua para saber su historia.
Conejeras 1 y son las 10:33.
Una vez tengamos
Once we have the results,
vamos a
we will know how the water circulates
circula el agua
and who are the
quiénes son los
protagonists in that
protagonistas
water.
de esa agua.
Y son las 10:34.
¿Quién los
Who are the contributors?
importantes?
The glacier,
El glaciar,
the paramos,
o el bosque
or the high Andean forest?
Si lo que
If what we are taking is very new water
muy
or very old, or
vieja
if it comes from
o
far
de
away.
lejos. Hemos logrado despertar
We have woken up a certain sensibility in Colombians
que ya no
that they won't have glaciers anymore.
Jorge can't save the glaciers, but he is determined to record their disappearance. The biologists who work with animals on the equator do hope that documenting their lives can help save them.
Oh, wonderful, that's Antanga. So here comes Ambia.
Martha Robbins uses camera traps to understand how our primate cousins manage their land.
Oh, okay, yeah. But that's... So one thing in particular I'm interested in is how do they use their habitat? This 5 by 5 kilometer area, how do they decide where to go? And how do they, okay, this fruit has just started to be in season, there's fruit now. They seem to know where certain trees are and so forth.
And this is a song that group was seen further north.
Some different wildlife here.
So this is where we changed the camera this morning.
So way up on Bafia.
The more she learns, the easier it is for Martha to enter the world of the gorillas.
When we're in the forest here, it's really special because you focus on hearing. I think you really use all your senses more, and that somehow can make life fuller in a way.
Knowing the forest is very important. You may see a direction, but then, instead of following the tracks, you can say, there's a swamp ahead, a curve, and that's where they'll cross, and you can go there directly. And in 3/4 of these cases, we have been right.
They eat the bark of this, and it's still quite wet. They ate it recently. They ate this recently, so they're somewhere around here. We'll find them. This group is called the Antanga group. There's the silverback named Kamaya. There are 6 adult females. And then there are 9 what we call immatures. And they range in age from, the youngest infant is 9 months old, and then the oldest immature, he's about 8 to 9 years old. It's a really lovely group right now because it's a good size for Western gorillas. Over the last few years, as the gorillas have become more and more habituated, and we've followed them more, we know much more of their habits. So we know where they go, we know what foods they're going to be eating at certain times of the year, and we know where those foods are located in the forest. So now if we lose them, we can find them typically within a day or so, whereas 3 or 4 years ago, we might lose them for a week or more. The same way that humans have conflicts with each other, but also have very friendly relationships with each other, the same thing occurs within gorillas. Sometimes if they're feeding in a fruit tree together, they are very close to one another, and that's where we may see that one gorilla approaches another one too close or wants to go for the same spot to feed, and so then a conflict or a fight will come out. What we saw in the forest today was actually a pretty severe fight.
It seems like some traits that creatures have never change, while others can evolve into something new almost overnight. On the Galapagos Islands, scientists are beginning to realize that creatures evolve at a speed Charles Darwin never imagined.
In Darwin's time, they had fossil records, right? And they're from millions of years ago. So I guess that was the idea, is that, you know, species take a long time to change, if they change at all.
Darwin's finches, named for the man who made Galapagos famous, have been studied for many decades. They've taught us that evolution is a never-ending process of adapting to the world.
They worked using Darwin finches here. You can see that those small changes can lead you in very different direction in just a couple of generations. Evolution is a constant process that has been, you know, operating at every single level, from your cell to the individual to the ecosystem. And every day there's a new generation of a new species that is not exactly the same as the ancestor.
Jaime's research on Darwin's finches requires a lot of sampling to discover which traits are evolving fastest.
Allá y traes para acá. Warbles, they love the sounds more than the finches do. Come on, man.
Jaime uses a common bird watcher's technique called pishing to attract the finches, while working around the passing waves of tourists who deter them.
Buenas. ¿Cómo les va?
Ironically, by making Galapagos famous, Darwin altered the course of evolution here. Almost no one lived here when Darwin visited. But fame drew scientists and then tourists. Their presence altered the landscape, and that eventually changed the animals too.
Weekly, we harvest the products, vegetables and fruits. We go down to the port, where everybody lives.
Daniel and Miriam's organic farm is just a year old and already a success. Their market is guaranteed. In 1970, 5,000 people visited Galapagos. In 2015, the island had 225,000 tourists. There are 25,000 full-time residents to serve them. Most make a good living because tourists who come here tend to be wealthy.
Hola. ¿Cómo estás?
Bien,
Oye, la rúcula se nos acabó los 2 días que nos trajiste.
así es, enseguida.
Se comieron todo. Estaba enamorado el señor, que es muy rico su rúcula.
This is a new project here in the island where we've decided to use all the local ingredients because we've realized there is so much growing here and people just take it for granted. The soil here is very rich and they have very interesting species that are just native from Galapagos, which is very exciting. I think that's the step that everyone should take. We need to work in order to create a better world for everybody. I'm from Panama. Came to Galapagos in January and fell in love with it.
Es la hermana de Mira.
Tourists are restricted in their movements and forbidden from touching animals, but animals go wherever they please. more than a century after Darwin was here, creatures, tourists, and residents have evolved to depend on each other in all sorts of ways. In these remote mountains, Jorge Ceballos is seeing a landscape evolve with astonishing speed because of warm air drifting here from cities thousands of kilometers away. The higher his team climbs, the fresher the evidence becomes.
Today on the last kilometer, we'll get to see the history of climate in the last decades. We have marked where the ice has been in the last year, every 10 years.
Way up here where the clouds live, there used to be just ice and rock. But now the land is turning green.
Vegetation is also a good indicator on how climate is changing. There are some lichens that you can find all over the world. This is a lichen that allows us to know, according to the size of it, how long ago there was ice on the surface of that lichen. They start to grow uniformly in circles. Close to the glacier, we'll find very small ones. Here are bigger ones because the ice has disappeared from this area about 70 or 80 years ago.
70 años, 80 máximo.
I've been getting old with the glacier too. It's been 10, 15 years that I've been visiting here. The sun comes up, the sun goes down. The equatorial zone is incredible. That diversity. These rocks we see here will be different in a few years. They will have shades of green, and it will start to be taken over by vegetation. It's incredible. You don't see this anywhere else in the world.
yo me siento
I
feliz.
feel happy, above all,
En el borde
on the edge of the ice.
que es como el contacto, como
It's the
estar con una
contact.
persona aquí al lado.
Like having someone next to you.
Ese pequeño contacto en el borde
That small contact on the edge is enough to feel that you and the glacier are alive.
Contact between people and nature changes everyone, sometimes in surprising ways. Martha Robbins' work on habituating gorillas has changed them and the people on her team who track them.
People frequently ask, how did you get into this? And was it a childhood dream? I think I did want to do something that involved discovery, involved adventure. I also was very interested in science and math, so I think this is a way that really blends those two things nicely.
Cooperating on the project has broadened the views of researchers and opened horizons for local people.
I love working with many people from many different cultures. You learn a lot that way. You can teach, but you can also learn. I've been extremely fortunate to have this job.
Her research has shown that populations of endangered gorillas increase when they're habituated to people, who can discourage poachers and call in veterinarians when needed. The researchers hope ecotourism will develop here. They believe that tourists who know gorillas personally will be motivated to protect them for another generation. The Galapagos Islands have more experience with ecotourism than anywhere. Since the 19th century, people have been coming to see its unique creatures. Jaime Chavez is probing the impact of that, one Darwin's finch at a time.
Entonces es Geospisa fuliginosa, ¿no? Small ground finch.
Eso es la especie.
Ajá. Does big length?
9.62,
Big width?
7.20, 6.80.
Deep.
Stop bleeding. She's good to go. Sí, es un fully
Yes,
fully
it's a
hembra.
female.
El pico es un poquito
The
más
beak
largo.
is a bit larger,
9.87.
9.87.
The way birds have evolved on these islands is by adapting to this very different type of seeds on the island. So that is, you'll find small seeds in one island, birds will adapt to that. They will be in another island, they will adapt to larger ones.
Qué lindo es este mano.
699.
Width igual, ¿no?
No es el depth.
Ah, ya.
Este es width.
699.
658. ¿827? That's pretty cool. There's like a medium finch on the right-hand side and a small finch here. Here's an example in which two species with very different beaks are feeding on the same seed. So we want to see exactly what species are there to see the size of the seeds. So we observed two species of finches feeding on these seeds, right? We saw the small ground finch and the medium ground finch. If that is an invasive plant, these small subseeds are going to be breaking down those isolated groups, and might be just one big type of beak per island that are eating soft items like these introduced plants, or even in the urban sites, maybe some human items as well.
That means that the number of intermediate beaks are going to increase. And then instead of having very distinct morphotypes, you will have a homogenic sample of all the birds. So all the birds might look the same. Variation is not only the differences in beak sizes among one population. Variation is this power to find answers to different questions in nature. Variation is key for survival. The beak of some finches now are very different in areas where there have human settlements around compared to areas there are not. That shows you that evolution and species are adapting to very different environments. So if we as humans are making that a seed and a bird change so dramatically in their history, I cannot imagine what it's going to be like looking at the entire planet when we change climatic regimes. We have changed so much.
The trekking gets tougher as Jorge Ceballos climbs higher towards Santa Isabel Glacier, and the signs that it is evolving into a little lake become stark.
I think it's someone with bad temper, because many times it won't let us go in. It gets bad humor, very low temperatures, strong winds, snowstorms. So you feel it, like someone who doesn't want visitors, someone who's sick, who doesn't want anyone to see him. This used to be ice just a few days ago. Now it's water. This is as if a human being was bleeding out. We're losing a lot of glacier.
Estamos perdiendo mucho glaciar. Yo considero que esto es una gran prueba del cambio.
I think it's a great proof of global warming.
Esto hace 10 años.
I didn't see this 10 years ago. Where was the mark located? Oh, here it is. It looks good. It's from exactly 3 months ago, no?
We put this one with Ivan on July 18th.
How much do you think it moved? Where was the ice? Here?
Exactly here. That's why we put it here.
So it has moved about 10 meters, eh?
10 metros, ¿ah?
Look at this crack. It's good for analyzing. Yes, there. Well, today we're going to analyze the beacons. There are sticks in the ice, and they allow us to know how the surface of the glacier changes month to month.
Glacier. 。  . 。  . 。 . 。。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 .
Esas medidas nos permiten saber.
Those numbers tell us how much mass is the glacier gaining or losing.
El glaciar en masa.
So it's 25 to 30 centimeters that it lost in 1 month, approximately? Last time the ice was here. We have to paint them frequently to keep them visible. But of course, the ice was here, so we couldn't paint this part. So it serves as evidence. I think this glacier, it will disappear in less than 20 years. It makes me sad to know something ancient is becoming extinct. That makes me sad, but it's also a challenge because I want to measure until the end. I think this work is important because I imagine our children or grandchildren looking at photos of us working here, which won't exist anymore. They will ask us what we did. Why did this happen? So I think it is an ethical responsibility we have as a generation.
De nuestra generación con las siguientes. It
is ice that's been here for thousands of years. We're not just standing on a glacier that's about to be extinct. That's also telling us a story.
It's a story repeated constantly these days around the middle of the world, told by different characters, with unique voices, all saying that evolution is perpetual and churning ever more quickly in the rising heat of the equator.